worldwide dial. Call me up and we'll talk for a while. If you wanna keep it real or hear the tea, believe me, this is the place to be. Excuse you, you crazy for real. Excuse you, you crazy for real. Excuse you, you crazy for real. Real chickas say word. Cherado.
Oh.
What's up? It's Cherado on the Cherado Show right here on listenvisionlive.com. Here tonight with my co-host, Grindstone.
What's up, Baltimore?
Our producer, the Urbanista.
Hey.
And our DJ, Blue Magic.
West.
As always, we want to hear from you. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Cherado. Tonight we're talking. Well, before we talk, let's talk about how it's Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
And
Andale. Mami, oh.
And we have a partially Mexican crew member in the night tonight.
Partially Mexican.
Venga mi niña.
Oh.
So we're going to have to celebrate just for Blue Magic.
That's what's up.
Uh-oh.
Hey, so Blue Magic, wait, tell us, what is Cinco de Mayo?
It is a day celebrated for revolutionaries. So Cinco de Mayo is not Mexican independence, okay?
Okay.
Cinco de Mayo was the War of Pueblo, Mexican farmers, poor people fighting the French who were trying to colonize them.
Man, I'm with that. I did not even know that.
Yeah, so...
Damn, people shouldn't even get twisted. Like it should be like when you wake up and, stand for some shit.
Yeah, you get up and be ready to be a revolutionary. So it happened in 1863.
That's what's up. We was going through our own problems over here around that time.
So we shouldn't be drinking today.
Howard was founded in 1867, so it wasn't that long.
Mexico had just finished their civil war, so the country was kind of divided with the haves and have-nots. And the French thought it was a perfect time to come over and set up on this side of the continent.
So I should be guilty for having a skinny girl margarita before the show?
No, I had like 5 shots and 3 margaritas.
Oh, damn.
But it's all in the spirit.
You're so revolutionary.
We're feeling very revolutionary.
That's all in the spirit of
tonight.
revolution. So.
Yes, we're all very free.
Well, in the spirit of being revolutionary, our show topic tonight is, does doing your best daily afford yourself unlimited options? And this kind of came up one night where I think we might have all been out together, and I had a little side remark about I can't stand when, I won't use the word that I use, but when people aren't doing their best at all times.
Yeah, words. I mean, yeah.
And I mean that from the bottom of my heart in every way. Like, I think that I have the biggest problem with people out here complaining about what they're not getting, but they don't start with what they're not giving or what they're not doing. So that's kind of a lead into the show topic tonight, and you guys chime in at any point.
Well, I was just reading Don Miguel Ruiz's 4 agreements. And the 4 agreements are: be impeccable with your word, never make assumptions, don't take anything personally, and always do your best. And if you stick to those things, generally keeping that in tune, things are going to kind of roll around in your court. But doing your best is definitely important. Like, you always do your best. Nobody's perfect, but like if you try to do your best at whatever's in front of you, things are opportunities going to roll around, and you're going to be able to accept that opportunity in a way that facilitates progress.
I feel like that's a life lesson that's taught to you early on in any avenue of endeavor.
Always do your best. No, I know some people who do not do their best, and they act like they're comfortable, and their life is so whack, and not whack in a way where they might not have a lot of things, but just in a way they always have to make an excuse about everything, about why that's not finished.
Well, that could actually be them thinking that they're doing their best. I mean, it could actually be, because one person's best is not another person's best.
True.
Yeah, but they know it's not their best, because then I'm thinking about this one person in particular, and his thing is like, whatever, but like that, Like he not showing his fangs and his ears ain't pinned back. He's not going for it, and he knows he's not going for it because at one point in his life, at one point in everybody's life, you go for it and you know what that feeling is. And he knows he's not going for it.
But you're going for it, and mine
not be
going
the
for
same
it
thing.
may be totally different. Because I think there are people out there that really, really think that they're doing their best, and I'm looking at them with side eye like, really? That's what you're doing?
Yeah, that's why that doing your best thing is real trivial, right?
Subjective.
Because
Well, as long as it's your best, fuck it. Do
well,
your best.
sometimes that shit ain't good enough.
Exactly.
Especially like
Preach.
if you're like a teammate of mine, right?
Right.
And like doing your best to me is like mediocre.
Right.
And I know you have more in you.
It's different
Like,
levels.
So
You
like,
know they have more in them.
Well, yeah. So like if you haven't been pressed about what your best is and you think what you've been doing is your best, that's not good enough, right?
And you might have not been pushed. You might have not had to take it to that next level.
Right. Some people need some life coaches, some that live awesome life coaching, so they get off your ass. Or you might need a kick in your ass
Self-plug.
to take yourself to the next level.
www.liveawesome.com. Okay, yeah.
Well, you know, everybody, if you did not watch the fight, heard about the Floyd Mayweather fight, or you were in a conversation about the fight. Floyd raked in, 180 M, and people mad about that.
Pacquiao 120.
Yeah, and both of them deserved every nickel of that. I hope they didn't get shorted a nickel of that
Pacquiao
bread.
gave half of his to charity.
No, but giving away is cool. Like, whatever you do, what you going to do with all that bread? And he got bread on top of bread on top of bread on top of bread. So that's cool. Do what you do. But I'm just saying, they deserve that. Nobody wants to trade lifestyles with either one of those individuals. Nobody.
Wait, what? You said nobody wants to trade lifestyles?
Yep.
I wouldn't mind trading and having
Okay,
Floyd
then you got to
Mayweather's
go to
lifestyle
sleep
like
soon because
tomorrow.
you got to wake up at 3:30, and at 3:30 you got to run 6 miles. And
when
you
he's
gotta,
training, but not on a regular basis.
Nigga, on a regular basis, what you talking about?
That's why he always ready.
What you talking about?
That's his life.
Well,
not
if
drinking-
I was getting 180 million, I feel like that would
Well,
definitely
why do you
help.
need that to do that?
To get up at 3:30 in the morning?
Because he wasn't always making 100
Yeah,
million.
he started doing this when he was 8.
It was just.
Well, maybe I don't have enough information
It was just
Well,
a dream and some fire in his stomach.
Let's bring
Yeah.
it back. Let's bring it back to doing your best.
No,
And-
but I'm saying that's him doing his best, and that's why he got what he got. So people look at the finish line like, whatever. But this man been waking up before we knew his name.
You wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym.
Right, exactly.
That type of stuff.
And so like, I think both Pacquiao and Mayweather deserve every penny of what they did because like mathematically they earned it. This hour plus this hour plus this hour plus this workout plus that workout equals that. They doing their best.
And that kind of leads into like the first part of doing your best and that the physical part of that. Like, what are you delivering physically when you're doing your best? So I know people sometimes, Urbanista and I were just talking about this before the show. You wake up in the morning, you're not a morning person. You don't feel like, doing all that extra, doing your extra hair, extra makeup, extra whatever. But I disagreed with you. I think you need to wake up 10 minutes earlier or drink an extra shot of coffee or espresso or do whatever you have to do to leave that house smoking.
I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
Like maybe when I get to work, I'll be like, all right, I'm here and I have some time to
but
sit
so
and be
much
quiet.
can happen in that hour.
I don't
from
give a damn.
leaving
Like when I get up at 6:30 in the
house.
morning, well not even at 6:30. I get up at 5:30. My goal is get my kids to school and get to work on time.
And I
by
understand
any
that.
means necessary.
But you
And
just
I'm not
missed.
thinking about
You potentially
makeup.
missed out on so many opportunities
Because I didn't put on makeup.
but of interacting with people.
I don't want
okay?
to talk to anybody that early in the morning. I don't
It's
care.
not about what you want. It's about the
I don't
opportunity
care.
that
I don't
existed.
care
No.
that early in the morning. I don't care.
No, all right, but look at it like this. Look
Hit
at
me
it like
at
this.
after 8 o'clock and
But-
I'm on.
All right, but look at it like this. As a man, now I was running around today, so I'm not. I didn't wash my face before I came in. I might be shining a little bit. That's the outside grease.
God.
That's my tan.
Oh, we
coming
have a
through.
caller calling in.
Okay, caller, holler at us, please.
Do you need a score?
I need that.
We're working on our new set. Oh, plugging it. All right,
We're sharing cables, so you
Yeah.
gotta bear with us.
we're sharing.
Caller, are you there?
Hello.
Hey,
How's it going? This is Chris.
Hey, Chris.
How are you?
Good. How are
Great.
you? Where are you calling from?
I'm in my car, and I'm in Adams Morgan.
Are you turned up?
Just a little bit. It's Cinco de Mayo.
So how are you feeling about our show topic tonight, doing your best?
So I was diving in because I wanted to hear what you guys were talking about. I know you were talking about like, the more options aspect and being able to have unlimited options. So I was just kind of dialing in to see what you guys were already talking about.
Well, how do you feel about you leaving the house or you entering into a situation that's not your house or whatever? How do you feel about you physically appearing your best? Like that might be, spooned and groomed and, primped and whatever you do. How do you feel about that? Or do you have or do you think that does not weigh into the reception of your opportunities?
So let me try to capture what you just said. So I have my own house, and somebody has their own house too. You said.
No, leaving home on your best foot. Do you
Like
feel
looking your
Like,
best.
are you putting on a suit?
Do you feel like you have to be, in tip-top dress mode when you leave the house every day in order for you to be successful that day?
Well, for me, it's like in the line of work that I do, I definitely believe like leaving the house, feeling your best, and I think that exudes like kind of like a confidence. But it just depends.
So how much prep do you have to put into that? Do you have to wake up at a certain time in order for you to, shower and dress and make sure you're ironed up and so forth?
Yeah,
iron.
so for me, like I was telling you earlier today, I get to work at like 6 in the morning. And so for me, dress code really isn't essential, but it's not so much about dressing for the position now, but just dressing for the position that you could potentially attain.
Exactly.
But it just depends. But and there's various aspects. I know when I'm going to a meeting, for different things, I don't have to dress the part because I know people really pay attention to things like that.
Yeah, I mean, call people shallow, but it is what it is. It might even be some type of, whatever. The rose is red. Just attracting them bees.
Right.
That's just what happens. That's what it is.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, man, keep your dial tuned in to us, and we appreciate your call.
Thanks so much.
All right.
And I just want to piggyback off of what you said, Blue Magic. It's not like necessarily being stunning every time you leave the house, but it's in specific situations because, I'm not wearing a dress to the baseball game or to the gym, but I'm looking my best in that specific situation because I want to receive my best in return. Like that energy exchange is essential. So whether it's 6 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night, it may be a different look at those times, but physically I'm going to be giving and doing the most so I can get that back in return.
Yeah, I know somebody who was underdoing it, and then she stepped her game up to appropriately meeting the potential. You know how when you see somebody, you be like, man, she would be cute if she, just did some little things. And not like if she did a whole life transformation, but if she paid attention to the thing that I'm paying attention to, that would be tight. So she switched the game a little bit, and life is treating her better in general. Perhaps because she feels better about herself, but she looks like she feels better about herself. Deion Sanders said, what, you look good, play good, they pay good. And that's
and people respond to you differently.
That's true.
Let's just face it. If I'm going into a board meeting looking like some you-know-what, or if I'm going in there blazing, I'm going to get a different response all day, especially if there's men in the room.
Yeah.
True.
So
I'm
you
winning.
You go in there blazing and be halfway dumb and still get some attention.
Hey,
Yeah, you will. You
could be.
Yeah, you would definitely have the floor. But I want you all, to get your thing together. We're about to go on break on the Ask Cherado show. Brush your tongue, floss your teeth, and
Put
check
your
us out
suit
right
on.
when you come back. Yeah. On the Ask Cherado show. A young brown-skinned goddess-made money of God. Where my sister's at? Where my sister? She believed this radio, TV media is really what's up. Where my sister's at? Man, it tricked her. She was just a sheep amongst wolves until they offered a job
Where my sister at? Where my sister? Lingerie, weed and weaves, the streets embrace her with open arms. Where my sister at? And she's a stripper.
So appealing. Feeling.
I love this one.
You know I like you, right? No, really I do. Silly me almost said I do in a strip club valet line. How'd they find? Just my height, size, and flavor. Ice in the cup, panties on her ankles from the ceiling she dangles. She make the player haters pay to hate. Tricking like a magician. This vixen got him in submission. They forking up coins and she gotta pay tuition. It all started giving the teacher an apple, getting him smiles. Converting inches to miles. I keep a bad red bone on speed dial. I'm climbing like homie. Dude, girl all on me. She said her boyfriend is phony and his money is bony. She do it
all for the money, all for the money, all for the money. Even if she be all for the money, all for the money, all for the money. Baby, you nitty bitty, all for the money, all for the money, all for the money, all for the money, dang, for the money, all for the money. She was all about the money, baby.
Middle Eastern queen, senorita diaspora mama. Often no drama, matter of fact, just bought some flowers for your mama. Herbs for you, hors d'oeuvres for two. Moreover, I'm respecting the game, and you are too. Bar method insanity, your body's insane. I got an addiction to you, damn near wanna change your last name. I say the funky rhymes that make the girls undress. Nigga ran up on me, now the population's one less. I wanted to take my new boo to Nobu, she acted up too fast though. Turned out to be an asshole. I love how you do it for the cash flow. Businesswoman of the year, I shed a tear if you bounce. You bout that calculator, and that shit counts. You do it.
All for the money, all for the money. She was all for the money. She was sitting for me, Jack. She was all for the money, all for the money, all for the money, baby. She was all for the money, all for the money. All she was screaming on, ay. She was all about the money, all about the money, all for the money,
I spit the
baby.
gospel when possible to bitches and bitches. Bitch niggas, I'm seldom on the scene, but when I am, I'm saying something softly in the ear of Mary Magdalene. At the bar with the elbow lean, I start spitting hella game like Barack Hussein. That nigga's broad is a hot piece of ass. I put my dick in a kisser. She likes a cat with cash. Instagram goddess boo boo, I can't hate your hustle.
But it was all for the money, all for the money, all for the money. Even if she didn't know, she was all for the money, all for the money. Get it and she get gone. She was all for the money, all for the money. Get it and she get gone. It was all for the money, all for the money. Get it and she get gone.
We're back on the Cherado Show right here on listenvisionlive.com, talking about doing your best and if that affords you to get your best back in return.
Certainly it does.
So we were talking about the physical aspects of things, and there's also the mind and soul aspect of things as well, and working on your mental growth so you can also receive that type of energy back. And I think some of that has to do with being conscious about perfecting who you are as a person, and being open to the growth process that you have to go through as an individual. And if you're not open to that, then how can you attract that kind of energy back to you? So you may be dealing with some raggedy ass people if what you're giving out is raggedy ass energy from the mental growth perspective as well.
Well, in a self-awareness, you have to understand your three parts: your mind, your body, and your spirit. And those have to be given attention individually. Now, you're going to do things that brings them all together, but you can have like a real physically fit person who's really, really intelligent, but like they don't understand their spiritual karma, and they just
Broken
like
inside.
they just tear everything up like a hurricane and destroy things in their path, They use that knowledge for the wrong thing. Even they use their looks for the wrong thing, and it brings them into a place of a place where they rather not be. Like, I mean, they live the result of their actions, and being, first of all, if the smartest person is gonna make the most money, usually, like if I know more about, well, I'm saying, like, say if we all work in the same field, and I wake up a little earlier than you and read something, and I go on a little retreat where we're talking about things.
And does that make you smarter, or does that make you hungrier?
It will make you
more
better
resourceful.
informed. But I'm saying, like, that, I mean, that's what we consider, like, you know, intelligence, like something measured when you study and you learn and then you get stuff. So, I mean, you got to feed that. If you, like, whatever it is that you want, you have to surround yourself with that. And you have to have the intelligence to know where it is and when to do it.
I think also, just piggyback on that, is understanding where your strengths and your weaknesses lie. So, for example, you may know that, you know, you are not intellectually where other people that you're competing with are, but maybe you're a good talker. So you could, or maybe you're really great at learning new things, but even if you don't have the physical aspect or whatever it is your weakness is in, you have to make your strength that much stronger, so that way you can convey and compete on at least the same level to start to be like, okay, we're actually in competition. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, nobody is perfect. You may have looks, you may have intelligence, you may have all these other things, but no one has 100% of everything all the time. So being, I think, intelligent or resourceful or whatever you want to call it, is being able to look at what you have and what you don't have, and putting the energy into your shortcomings to make that the full picture.
Yeah, I mean, you know, game recognize game and game recognize lack of game. And you have to be able to recognize where you are and put in extra hours on that.
Yeah, and I think that's what it speaks to what Cherado's saying. Like, how hard are you working to get what you want, or to get to where you deem that level of success?
Right.
Because some people have it naturally, right? And if we're competitors in our place of employment,
Right.
and just some things are easier for you because that's just something, a gift that you have. And I want to get on your level. Like, my grind is what's going to get me to the next level, not
Right.
my natural gifts. My waking up early,
Yeah,
my, like,
definitely.
paying attention to detail.
Hard work always beats talent.
Right. And so, and I like to always, and I make a lot of sports comparisons because that's what I've done, and that's something I've always told my kids: hard work beats talent.
Yeah.
And you know, I had my first round draft pick, or second round draft pick this weekend.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah. Went to the Chicago
So
Bears.
you
So
coached him?
shout out to Eddie Goldman.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
But you know, a kid. I mean, who had natural gifts.
Uh-huh.
So he probably could have went to any school and done well, just
Right.
because he's 6'5" and 315 pounds, and he's
Right.
cockstrong. You know, but there's kids that were lesser sized than him, you know, lesser weight, and still had opportunity to go to college.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't go to the league, but I make the comparison only to say that the hard work pays off, deeming on what level of success that you want to get to.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the reality is, you know, everyone ain't going to the league, and I say the league of life. You know, not
Right.
just the NFL.
Right.
Everyone ain't going to the
Well, it's
league.
a pyramid.
Right.
You know, and the air's thin at the top, and the room is empty.
Right.
There's a lot of people down at the bottom, though, and people must understand
Right.
that.
So so my point is, you gotta find your lane,
Yeah.
and then that's when that, you know, no excuses, grind hard thing comes into
Right.
play, because you gotta find your lane, and then you gotta go hard at it to figure it out.
Yeah. No, you definitely got to beast out.
Well, let's talk about some of the perks of looking your best. Do you guys feel like there's certain perks out there that you experience individually on a daily basis for looking your best? And if so, what are some of those perks?
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's certain details when, now, as far as somebody else looking at me and tell me I look like, or they're attracted to me or whatever, I'm not really always conscious of why they're attracted to me. But I do certain things before I leave the house, and perhaps that's why I'm late, because I'd rather, like, show up well when I show up and know that all my angles are working. The shoes and the, maybe, I'm shaped up in the hairline or whatever it is. Not today.
So, but then you have to be conscious. I mean,
Yeah,
to some degree, you're conscious.
I mean, we don't live in a jungle. We got mirrors. I mean, so like I am conscious of it.
So
I mean,
the positive attention that you're receiving after you've done all this stuff to yourself is what? What is the response? What does it look like? What does it feel like?
Well, I mean, I might attract that lady who I didn't know was looking, but I know that I got that together, and then she might be like, dang, I choose you. Or it might be that opportunity where that dude is like, man, because guys size up guys. Just to know like where this guy is with his, and if this is what I need to be, if I need to share this information of mine with him. And so like, I know that if people, I mean, I'm not really all overt with my style all the time, but if somebody recognizes what's going on, it's there for them to recognize, and then we could talk. And so I think like it attracts money. Or let me say, money follows success, and I think it attracts successful relationships, and they might lead to, I don't know, whatever, or it might lead to money, but I just think it attracts successful relationships.
What about you, Urbanista?
Like I said before a certain time in the day, I don't care, but I will say that, once I am wherever I need to be to clear my head and get to that space, I do feel a lot better when I know that, I've put on something that smells good. I've put my lip gloss on or whatever I'm doing for that day. And, even for hairstylists, I think, especially just looking at women in general, there's something and I think even for men getting a fresh shape up, there's something that changes about your soul when you get your hair done. Like, you come in there, even if you don't have to look bad. You just come in there, but you get it, like your hair freshly done, your nails done, your toes done, like, and maybe your makeup done, and you just put on some lip gloss or whatever it is that you do, your routine, like, that definitely gives you another level of confidence. So you put your shoulders back a little bit more, you might stick your butt up a little bit more, you might walk down the street with a little more of a stroll or a little pep in your step.
How you stick your butt up? Just curious.
You put that arch in your back.
Arch your back. I guess they arch your back. Right.
You know how you put your shoulders back?
I don't think they heard your question, Blue Magic. You were covering the mic.
How do you stick it? She said you walk with your butt stuck.
Well,
I'm curious how that
you
happens.
have, you have more.
Toot it up.
You toot that thing up, mama, and make it roll. Yeah, you just put a little more oomph. Like, what's the movie with the girl Reese Witherspoon when she was like doing the thing when she was pop and snap and pick up the pin up? Yeah, that Legally Blonde. That whole mood definitely comes, and that will definitely exude when it comes to the idea of kind of like what Cherado was saying earlier. You're walking into a meeting. Confidence in feeling yourself goes so far. Even like when you talk about meeting people for business, when you're talking about dating, or even any situation really. Yeah. And like if you feel more confident because you feel how you look.
The appreciation factor, though, like the appreciation that type of energy that you're receiving from everyone else.
You're saying when you look good.
Well, it's when you look good, when you're spiritually there, when you're mentally there. Like all of that energy is combined up into one great feeling of appreciation from the world. And then it's directed back onto you, and you're feeling fantastic about yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no better feeling than that.
Yeah, because like, all right, I know some people who are really spiritually grounded, and for that reason, they let their physical self go. I know some people who are really physically together, and they let their spiritual self go. And both of those are imbalances. Now, I think the spirit and taking time with yourself and building with yourself and actually leading with spirit, actually being able to look at somebody and know that body is a shell for the spirit. And like, if you're able, like when you're able to do that, and you could really like have a soul to soul, just whatever with somebody, I think that that's important, and it's underrated. But if people spend more time with themselves, which is one dope thing about yoga, you see all these yoga studios, like it's increasing the population of spiritually fit people, and you happen to look good as a byproduct of doing that. But there's a lot of spiritually fit people, or people who are actually every day working on their spirit, and that's any kind of sitting with yourself and dealing with yourself spiritually is healthy. And I think that when you have a spiritually bankrupt, beautiful person, physically beautiful person, that runs out so quick. They got to go find new people all the time.
Some people can only, or at least this is how they feel. They feel like they have to pick a struggle. Like they can only be good at one of those aspects of life. So they focus on one of those things and they do their best at one of those things. So
why they
is
doing
it
one?
better? Well, because that's what they feel like they can do their best at. They may be really good at looking good, but they may not be good at working on themselves and being introspective and being
So they're of no
spiritual.
value to a blind person.
Well,
I suppose you can look at it that way. You just got real deep, but
right. In the grand scheme of things, how many blind people are you running into on a regular basis?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
But
being
you might.
well-rounded.
But if you meet Stevie Wonder now,
Being well-rounded is definitely the goal, I would say, but some people are incapable of achieving all of those things at one time. So what does one do if they're in that particular situation?
Kill themselves.
if they only want, if they're in a situation where they only care about one thing,
Not care, where
like
they
giving up
feel-
on everything else,
where they feel that they can only pick one of those
They're a
avenues.
quitter.
they
Well, they don't know the science of their self. They don't know that they were born into this world given the ability to do everything that you're able to do to become whole.
So what you're saying is you think everyone out there is capable of doing their best in every avenue of their life.
Yeah.
Yes, that's their best, because their best is not based on someone else's best. Like I can't look at you or someone else and be like, oh, because this person is doing this, then I'm not doing enough. I know what my unique situation is, so I'm doing the best that I'm going to do. I'm my own competition.
I hate that saying, and I think that saying is
What?
do your
Blue
best.
Magic?
I'm doing my best. I think it's
Yeah,
bullshit.
I think I'm with you.
And-
well, damn.
I'm with you.
I do.
I was
I
going to
know.
piggyback on that real quick.
I think it's bullshit. I think it's a cop out.
Yep.
To think that you're doing the best for yourself?
No, for someone
'Cause
to
they're
always
still
say I'm
mainstream.
doing my best. Like what does that mean? That's not measurable,
It's a cop out.
right? Like
I disagree with that.
and
I definitely don't think
and
saying that
because
is a cop out.
Doing your best, like if that's the excuse you always say and you're still in the same place, then doing your best is not your best because you haven't exhibited any growth.
Yeah,
right?
well, I mean, somebody doing their best continuously, you could kind of keep the scorecard. Like you're not gonna be in the same place in that category next year that you are now.
Right, but
Right.
if you are,
Or you might.
Because if you're doing your
According to what Urbanista was saying, you might. I mean, if you were doing your best, you could be at the same score.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you can't look at everybody else and say, this is what I'm going to be based on what I just see what that person is going through. Because number one, you don't know what that person's doing on the first place, but you do. I mean, there's an aspect of admiring someone and saying, okay, this is something I value in what this person is doing. I'm going to try to, take some of that and make that who I am. But you can't just solely base who you are and what you're doing on what you see somebody else to be, is what I'm saying.
But I think results will tell the truth.
right?
Like I think in the end, the results will tell. I'll know what you were doing all those hours by the result.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and I can just I always I take it back to sports analogies, right? Even someone who is not physically gifted, and there's a lot of kids that play sports that aren't as
Right.
physically gifted as the next one. So if you're doing your best, and week one you can only bench 100 pounds,
Right.
and in 2 months from that same week you're benching 150 pounds,
Right.
and I know you're doing your best,
Yeah.
because you're busting your butt at whatever limit to make gains.
Yeah.
So I take that to someone's regular living. Like if you're doing the same thing in 1995 that you're doing in 2000, you're telling me that's your best. That's bullshit.
Yeah, you're right.
I can agree with that.
And so someone just to just throw that out, I'm doing my best. Like that's unacceptable.
Right, and it's almost like from the outsider's perspective, you could be like, you don't know your potential. So I mean, I guess it will come from
and
there.
that's used a lot in relationships. Like, let's face it, a lot of people say that in relationships, I'm doing my best, and they keep saying that repeatedly over and over again, but they're still stagnant. They're still in the same place they were at the very beginning. And so were you really doing your best, or was that a cop-out?
Right.
Within that particular relationship.
Right, and so, and if I'm wrong, everyone needs to correct me. But so what I do understand is that, you know, like, if someone just has a natural gift and ability and they're able to perform at a way higher function than you are, like, that's okay because they have a gift that you don't have. But if you take that as the cop out or the excuse to say, well, you know, this is my best right here, so I'm staying here because I can't do that because that's
No,
what
then
they
you're
can do.
limiting yourself.
Right. But people will say that and say, I'm doing my best, and this is, you know, I can't do that because I just can't do it. So this is my best. And to me, that, and you can use that in relationships, you can use that in life. You can, I mean, and the reason, and I'm glad we're talking about this because it really pisses me off because I work with a lot of young black boys in the city, right? And I hear that shit so much. I'm doing my best, and I'm like, well, what is the best?
Right.
Like, and you can't, if you can't,
like, you couldn't do a little bit better. Just try to do a little something extra.
Well, but that's a good point because what are they measuring against? And if their best is, you know, here for them, but it's here for you, then it looks a lot different.
Right.
Just based on life experiences. And
I get that. And I understand opportunity, and I understand the whole dynamic of how success works. But if you can't tell me what the best is at all, your best, my best, your mama's best, like, if you have no concept of best, right, then you can't tell me you're doing your best, right?
True.
And if you've never been pushed before to go past what you think is your best, then your best does not exist.
I think once you do your best, you realize it because you're totally spent.
Right.
You're spent. You don't have. It ain't nothing left.
I agree.
And you know, it's funny. I like the cartoon King of the Hill, and I like cartoons. So Hank Hill, who's the dad, he was explaining something to his son, and then he was like, is there any lesson that football doesn't teach? Because every time he was measuring something, like he was talking about football. Now, I think with using football, the ex-head coach, the ex-NFL coach, Dick Vermeil, like, one of his things that he would tell his teams, he would be like, keep working, because if you understood the awesome power of the accumulation of work, you would never cheat your work.
Yeah.
And work it actually does work in accumulation. So, like, you know, if you keep on doing stuff and keep on doing stuff, almost like math again, you're not going to be in the same place.
Yeah. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break right here on the Cherado Show on listenvisionlive.com.
Heard about you. You heard about me. Get it. Wow.
Cause I had some shit.
Back at you. Bad girl.
Is it bad that I never made up? No, I never did. But I shouldn't have had
I want you
to
to.
be bad girl. I prove it to you.
I done came down, hold up, grip the grain, roll up, and your girlfriend want a nigga like me, cause I ain't trying to control her. She called me when she wanna change, black diamond, my pinky ring, and she know you wicked, we ain't the same. You hit the scene, I make the scene. I'm in her head like Maybelline, H-time, so I make the lean. I'm in her soul, I make her scream. I don't ride the toll, don't pay the change. I'm easy tag like Peter Pan. She want a man, don't need a man. I'm flying down your boulevard. She cooking dinner with your pants. Draped up, tripped out, yo bitch know what I'm talking about. Pulls up, pull out, we get it poppin' in the parking lot. She like to do it with the lights on, don't matter to me if it's dark or not. I'm G'd up, eased up, fossil pants, I'm hard as rock. Girl, I know how much you really want
Welcome back to the Ask Cherado show, where we are telling you, young ninja, do your best. Do your best.
I ain't got no time.
And we want to hear from you tonight. 202-758-8607. That's 202-758-8607.
And if you think you've already reached your plateau and you can't do better than you're already doing, kill yourself.
Damn. But no, you know,
not literally. Not literally.
Hey, no.
Don't kill yourself.
Wait a minute, please. We need you here.
No, but you know, a lot of people really don't know their unlimited power until they reach a situation where it's
the bottom,
do or die, and seeing the bottom sometimes is really helpful, because then you're like, dang, when I didn't have all this stuff on me, I could have done a lot. But like, it's actually scary for many people to break through, and people spend a whole lot of energy not breaking through. Like, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this and this, so I don't break through. Whole lot of energy.
So there are perks to doing your worst then.
No, hell no. I mean, a setback is just like a setup for a come up, you know. Yeah. But you don't want to set yourself back
over and over again.
But see, so the thing is that everyone doesn't take that role on. Like, they don't understand it, right? That a setback is only a setup to see what more potential you have to overcome your obstacle. Some people take a setback and they go into the tank and never
drown.
Yeah,
and they never recover.
And there's a lot of stuff in society to allow you to just like chill at the bottom.
Yeah,
because you'll find friends at the bottom.
Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, because like I think we probably all have a friend or two that maybe we were friends with at a certain point in our life, maybe childhood or growing up or whatever, and you went one way, they went the other way. They could have even gone as far to, you know, have the same level of education, the same opportunity, the same family, and somehow they found themselves in one circle and you found yourself in another. And, you know, that's a really like a challenge for me, is having certain friends in certain circles that are happy in their circle. I love them, but I don't want to chill in that circle. Like, it's depressing even to think about being in that circle.
You might have outgrown them.
Yeah.
You know, you might have taken yourself to that next whatever growth, you know, you're going through, and they may be in a stagnant place and it's not helping you, it's not re-energizing you.
Right.
And you have to move on.
My son is on the baseball circuit right now, and he's playing like baseball on a high level for his age group. But at this level, everybody's balling. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, he's knocking them out the park on the other level he was just on. Now at this level, everybody is really good. Like, you know, for that level. That's just how levels work. And so, you know, I had to talk to him, and I was like, listen, you win the game in the time, in the hours that you spend alone perfecting what you do. Right. That's when you win. Like, you're not going to show up at the game without putting those hours in and win.
But that's why the greats are great. You mentioned Floyd Mayweather earlier. Like that, and despite what you think about him personally, like, you can't deny his greatness and his desire to be great. Right. Like, despite what you think about Kobe Bryant, you cannot. Right. You can't hate on his desire to be great. And there's very few that have the self-discipline to continue to push themselves to greatness.
Because the truth is, one in hundreds of thousands of people, even if they said, look, it's $180 million for you at the end of this. Right. Just wake up at 3:45 for 2 years, run 6 miles, eat like this, don't drink, do this at this time, do this at this time, do that for 6 days a week. Just do it. You don't have to fight nobody, but do that for 6 days a week for 2 years. Man, a lot of people would be like, man, a lot of people would try. You have like a fire 10 days. Like, people would be like, man, I'm on that. But people ain't ready to do that.
It's like that 7-day lemonade joint. We can't even keep up with that, let alone some damn 2 years. I mean, really.
And that goes into my next point about the people out there that are complaining about what they're getting right now. So, you know, you're out there, you're not getting all the things in life that you want. You feel like you should be getting this, you should be dating this man, you should have this kind of woman treating you this kind of way and all that. But what exactly is it that you're doing with yourself? You know, what are you doing? Are you waking up and, you know, working out? You want a fit dude, but you look some kind of way. Like, you know, you want to do with money. Yeah, you want the baddest chick, but you look in some kind of way.
Yeah, or you want somebody to, be, you know, to be able to
Above your level.
Yeah, somebody to be able to like kind of guide you or compliment you, but then you're not doing like any kind of mental or spiritual work on yourself. So like, you're not going to attract that. Like it's just not going to work. And even if you were to attract it, you wouldn't know it when it was in your face.
Right.
Because you ain't been that hasn't been you're not familiar with that.
Yeah, because a dog can't date a barracuda.
Right.
Right.
So
A
then,
dog can't. Wait, I had to think about it. Like, wait.
But it's
what?
all right. A dog cannot get a barracuda.
A dog and a
A
barracuda.
dog can't date a barracuda.
Oh.
so then the question is, how do we expand our options? Like, how do we empower others who are listening to expand their options?
There's only one way. You have to be the living, working piece, and people will look at you and ask, or they'll look at you and figure out something about what you're doing that they're not doing, and they'll implement something in their game.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback on that and say you got to learn yourself. Like, I don't think you can grow substantially if you don't know yourself. Like, you have to be able to like take that hard look in the mirror and really say, this is what I am, this is who I am, and this is where I want to go, and this is what needs to happen.
And you'll take one step at a time. You have to start that step right now. Do that step.
Yeah, and if you can't do that, then again, jump off a bridge, because you'll be stagnant the rest of your life. And I keep making those inferences, but I mean that emotionally. And in all of the work I've done with people, with families, with young folks, like if you can't take that first step, that's kind of the same thing in drug addiction. I would say, your first step is getting to the next day.
And, the 12-step program is a cold beast. Like, Google the 12-step program. The 12-step program has nothing to do with drugs.
No,
it has everything to do with self-improvement and accountability.
Exactly.
And if everybody like was aware of the 12-step program and like implemented that in their lives, man, it would be a lot of people changing what they do.
So that's the answer to your question, Cherado. How do we help people?
Put their ass on the 12-step program.
Expand their options.
Well, yeah. How do you expand your options? Well, first, how do you expand your options if you don't know you, right? Is that possible?
I can't answer that question because I think I know myself pretty well.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, say you didn't know you. Like if you lost in the forest without a compass, where do you go?
Right.
If those two characters that
Hansel and Gretel.
There you go. If they didn't have breadcrumbs,
right,
they would have lost their way, which means they had a path, and that's the analogy. Then that's the whole point of the story, that there was a path that they created for themselves in order to find their way back out, right? So if in life, if we're living this life without path, instruction, or direction, like the only opportunity or choice you're gonna have is being lost in the forest. And you could take that analogy and put in life. Like if you have no plan, you're lost in this forest of life. And
a lot of people attribute having greater options to being lucky. Oh girl, you're so lucky.
Well, there's not a such thing as good luck or bad luck.
No. But hear me out. Like people
let you hit that
lottery.
lottery.
Yeah, like
whoa.
Oh girl,
play them
you're
numbers.
so lucky. You just did this, or you just really, you're so lucky. And I'm like, no, actually, I'm not lucky.
Yeah,
I might be blessed with different characteristics of hustle and
but no one knows your
spirituality
strategic
or
plan behind what's going on behind what your plan is.
They may not want to know. I mean, they may not want to pay attention to the details because they may not pay attention to the details that I might be up at 4:00 in the morning returning some emails.
Right.
I might be up at 6:30 getting my whole thing together. Like I may be working until 11 o'clock at night doing XYZ, even though I had a happy hour, whatever. But no one is just lucky. Like you're out there, we're out there, those who are doing and wanting to have those unlimited options provided to us are probably doing the most and our best at all times in the best way that we know how.
They're gonna do a little better tomorrow.
Church, tabernacle.
Yeah, I mean, luck. Even if luck comes upon an unprepared person, nobody else will recognize that it's luck because that unprepared person won't be able to hold on to it and turn it into what it's supposed to be.
That's it.
So, I mean, it's what you do in those alone hours. And it's a trip. Like, just evaluate what you're going to do when you're alone the next time you're alone for an extended period of time. And just evaluate yourself. Just what you don't have, you can't do 10 burpees. You're not about to do 50 sit-ups and you got that little time. You're not about to sit there and center yourself. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. You're not going to do anything to get better. You're not going to read about your trade. You're not going to do nothing. You're not going to call somebody and extend love or whatever. You're not going to do nothing. Or what are you going to do? And it's like a real cool way to grade yourself if we're able. If we're able to grade ourselves. But you win the game when you're alone. That's the only way I know. Like when you're receiving your information and putting those thoughts together and taking those steps, breaking a sweat, doing your push-ups or whatever it might be, it happens alone.
Your upper room moments.
Yeah, that's what they call upper room moments. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when it happens.
Well, any final thoughts tonight before we wrap it up? Urbanista, Grindstone.
Do your best to be like the rest. You reserve the right to remain average.
Yep.
Choose that.
Tomorrow is not promised, so you better start living awesome.
Urbanista.
You better have an antidote.
My last thoughts would be a whole nother conversation, so I'm just gonna say stay fabulous.
And I'm gonna keep on doing the most and doing my best at all times. Listen to us every Tuesday from 8 to 9 p.m. right here on the Cherado Show on listenvisionlive.com. Signing off tonight with my co-host,
GrindstoneUniversal.com.
our producer,
Stay fabulous.
and our DJ,
Yeah.
right here next time on the Cherado Show.
Put your legs up. I ain't got no worries. I'm my own private dancer. My own private dancer. I wanna last forever. I wanna dance all night. I wanna last forever. I wanna dance all night. Baby, bend over. Baby, bend over. Baby, bend over. Let me see you do that yoga. Baby, bend over. Baby, bend over. Baby, bend over. Let your booty do that yoga. Flex. Flex. Crown on my head, but the world.
But that's the whole tragic point, my friends. What would I do if I could suddenly feel and to know once again that what I feel is real? I could cry, I could smile, I might lay back for a while. Tell me what would I do if I could feel?